Actually, it's Linux Mint. But, okay, so anyway, I wrote this, or running this project called Yakster. It's a takeoff on Yak, yet another compiler. I was inspired because I hate syntax. It's so tedious, and it's you have to have reference sheets, cheat sheets, and IDEs have code completion where you start splashing out elements of syntax, and it basically finishes it for you. See now my display just died here.
It's back up.
Okay, I'll just look up. So, okay, so grammar is basically rules representing the syntax, and you've got non-terminals, terminals, productions, simple English sentence. You got a subject clause, verb clause, an object clause, and then those in turn, like a subject clause can have 0 or more adjectives and a noun, so just real rudiments of the syntax. In expression grammar, we have this kind of syntax where the terminal definitions are on the left there. Expression, term, and factor. The productions basically, each non-terminal has a choice of different productions that can go down. And then the terminals basically are the things that get splashed out when you're all done traversing this syntax. Now, compilers have grammars as the heart and soul of them, obviously, and they recognize basically strings to match this grammar that defines the language itself. So my idea was to be able to just instantiate the grammar without having to rely on an IDE. It basically just is a real lean and efficient way to create some code. So basically the two kinds of operations that you do when you're working with this is that for each non-terminal that you're presented with is to choose a production, and for each terminal that you're presented with is to fill it in with a variable terminal. So the only thing you have to create from scratch are variable names. So you don't have to remember where semicolons, all that go. And I realize IDEs do a lot for you, but this is just like I say, a simple web presence that does that. So for example, if we had that expression grammar, it would look there, like it is there. And then we go over the web browser here. Okay. And bend my neck so I can look up what I'm doing. Okay, so go here. I can't see my own display, so I have to look over this way.
Do you want me to fix it again? See if we can
Yeah, this is crazy.
function F4.
And naturally, I'm showing all these errors. All right. All right, this isn't working here. I lost my cursor now almost. Oh wait, okay, there it is. All right, I'll keep working. Don't worry about it. All right, so this expression grammar we just talked about. Say if we wanted to instantiate it here, basically you can either point and click with the mouse, or you can enter in keyboard shortcuts either way. So if you wanted to generate a syntactically correct expression based on that grammar, say we want to just start filling it out here. Okay, just start clicking. You can click randomly, and let's suppose that you want to go backwards. It's got a lot of operations that are real handy. Like you can undo. If you try to put something in that doesn't match the regular expression conforming to a number, it'll tell you that, and it'll remind you what the regular expression is for a number. So that supports scientific notation with the E there. So let's go finish this out here. Okay. Okay, and then you can save your code if you wanted. Now let's talk about something a little more practical, like maybe MySQL. Let's see, go back over the presentation real quick. Okay, take the syntax for creating a table, for example. There's a lot of tedious syntax here, and looking at that will drive you crazy. So basically what this is, I call it MySQL Lean because it's the kind of a core set of elements to generate queries. And I organized it by database structure, table structure, so forth. And if you don't want to go look at the actual how it's organized by its name or its category, you can just click all, and then all the entries are there. So let's go back to creating a simple structure. Let's suppose you want to create a database with TV shows. So let's create a table called TV shows. Okay, and then, so the next non-terminal we got presented with is our creation definition. So basically the columns for each one. And you choose, do I want only one or do I want more than one? So let's say more than one. So we'll enter in the show name, and then we just point and shoot. The show name is going to be a varchar with a certain length, so I can hit either mouse it or hit J, that keyboard shortcut that corresponds to it. I'm going to say 64 characters is long enough for any show name that I'm going to want. Let's see here. I'm going to null out all these other specs here. Now let's create a primary key so it makes it a little more interesting. So I'll make use of some of those other keys. So I'll say index. That's going to be an int. This time I do want a null spec, and I want it to be not null. No default, so I'm going to say no, I choose not to have a default. Auto increment, I do want that. And a key spec, I want it to be a primary key, so I want to choose primary. And now we've created that column definition. Let's have one more. Let's call it channel or something. And again, it could be a varchar. So you put Showtime or HBO or whatever you want, and then null these other guys out. And then you could enter that serial in MySQL, and it'll be syntactically correct. So it has the right order, you know, the not null, the auto increment, and so forth. So it's a real handy reference that way. And then, since these things I found that are kind of personal, you may want to customize it for yourself. So one of the main features of the project is that you can download a grammar and take a look at it. And so this is like the MySQL lean that I did. And if you want to customize it for yourself, you can, if you want to upload a grammar, you can modify this and put in your own customizations. You know, say you want to add different columns or you want grant privileges in there. I didn't put that in there, but if you want to add that in, you could modify this and then upload it for yourself. And then that way you could have, you know, a customized version of it. So it's your own customizable cheat sheet, basically, for any kind of syntax. Just one final thing I was going to show you is that a feature is that you can basically capture the code that, or the sequence of changes that generated that and capture that. So for replay, if you want to, and that's useful if you want to get to a certain starting point and then go from there so you don't have to reproduce all the different steps up to it. So say, for example, we want to upload, let's see here. Okay. This was inspired by Twilio. Keith Casey did a presentation on Twilio, and I got interested in it when he did that. And so, so now I have the sequence loaded in of code that I already generated. So basically, I can just step through each step that I did, and it'll reproduce what went in there to generate that. And so what this particular code is, it basically is a four-function RPN calculator, and you can send a text message, you know, to get that. So then I can just jump to the end and just see the whole code, so you don't have to watch me sit here and splash the thing out tediously. Okay, so that's the code. And basically what it does is when you SMS you could SMS to that phone number right there. And the way RPN works is postfix notation. So basically, you put operation space or data space data and then an operation. So you say 58 plus. The plus comes after. And if you were to text 5 space 8 space plus, then it would return back 13. And it supports scientific notation. So if you put that number in and texted that, you get that response back.
As in, like, if I do it right now?
Yeah, you do right now, yeah. So to try it out, try and text. And since it's an RPN calculator, you can actually nest arbitrarily deep. So, and that's the beauty of RPN, is that you don't have to worry about putting in parentheses. So for example, this says take 2 and 3, add that together, that's 5. put 5 on the stack, put 2 on the stack, subtract, so now you've got 3, so you've got a 5 and a 3 sitting on the stack, you multiply those together and you get 15. So, yeah, if you want to try it out, you guys try it or see?
Trying to crash.
Try it.
Let's get
Yeah,
the
run
search
siege,
going.
can we see that?
How many texts a second?
Yeah, right, it's just going, yeah.
Now we'll put a logger in there too, so we can log what happens when we get siege. Tie all the
money though, right?
presentations together.
That's standard rate for text messaging. but-
Yeah, I think a penny on text.
It costs me a penny each time you do it, so.
Send a log file to different MAC address. When I put it all together.
Well, if you're sieging someone, you want a different MAC address.
There you go.
Did you get it, Josh?
I love it when a plan comes
I
together.
did, yeah, it works.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, any questions?
There's a bunch of .go files.